Okay.
All righty. Are we
Okay.
ready?
Okay then. Please, are we ready? If yes, then I start.
Yes, we are. Go for it.
Oh, okay. Good evening to you all.
Good evening.
Oh, okay. Mr. William, thank you so much for making time with us today. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please, today we are having a session on transitioning into project management. And we are having it with Mr. William Kosina. Please, I hope I've mentioned your name correctly.
You've got it right. You've got it right.
He's the CEO of LLIT Technology and a co-founder, business agility coach and trainer. Thank you so much, sir, for making time with us. And this is Obaapa Good Women's Club. We are women from all race coming together for the common purpose of empowerment and development. Our main aim is to empower, to network, and to inspire one another to achieve greater aim and create value in our society. And we will be leaving the link in the chat box. So we are inviting all of you. We are inviting all the good women to participate with us. Come join us. So please, Mr. William, over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the introduction. And a warm welcome to everyone who's joined us today. Before we kick off, I know what time is it? It's Friday afternoon, and everyone would like to be doing something else, but thank you for joining, and I'm more than delighted to be sharing the evening with you. I've got some few slides. I'll just share on a few slides. Then from there, we'll spend some time having more a discussion about the program manager roles. Yeah. So I would share my slides now. Yeah, I'm going to share my slide now. So if you can see my screen, do let me know you can see my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. So transitioning into a program manager role. And this is a very important question to ask oneself. And you could ask yourself at any point in time. I've been in this particular role for some time now, and I think it's time for me to up the game. Should I still stay within the role I am in, or should I start thinking about how to move ahead within the role or find a new role? So what I will share can also work with other roles you're planning to go ahead with, but I would focus more on it from a leadership perspective. And mainly it's based on my experience and the experience of a few people that I have worked with and come to know on this particular journey. So if we move next, the big question is there a New Year's resolution? If it's a New Year's resolution, then I think my recommendation is it's not okay for you to be here, because if it's a New Year's resolution, I don't think most people ever achieve their New Year's resolution. If you are here and you're achieving your New Year's resolution, then awesome, keep it up. But more than often, if this is one of your New Year's resolutions, I would like you to sit back and ask yourself that big question. Do I always achieve my New Year's resolutions? If yes, then let me put that on my list of things to do. And just to let you know, for you to transition from where you are, I don't know what role you are in. So it will be really good to know the people who've joined us. And what I would like to do now is, if you could just type in what role you currently are in. What role do you take? What's your current role? What's your role? Let me just know what's your role, and then that will help me build the conversation around some of the roles we have in the room. Are you a business analyst? Are you a test manager? Are you a project manager? What role are you in? Are you, yeah, project manager? Yeah. What other roles do we have? Coaches? Yeah. Business analyst. Yeah. BA UX designer also. Yep. Okay. So we've got a fair number of people who are closer to the, we've got a program management office, which is beautiful, a marketer. All roles are important, and it's that journey that we want to go to. And let it not be a New Year's resolution. If you are here with me, I'm not a big fan of New Year's resolutions, my friends will tell you. So if it's a New Year's resolution, please take it off the list. And I'm going to recommend something else for you tonight, something that would help you for the long term. Yeah. So we've debunked New Year's resolutions because it's seen on an Harvard Business Review, one of the articles, they said over 80 to 90% of people don't follow their New Year's resolution till October. And let's say 60% of people by March forget about their New Year's resolution, and they don't even know where they've written it or put it, where did they even write it? So if it's a New Year's resolution, I don't recommend it. Yeah. So looking at the role, where can you find yourself as a program manager or going to program management? There are two areas of thought in today's time. There is the typical waterfall approach where we've got program managers finding themselves a lot of, and then we've got the agile environment. These two environments still require people with a gravitas. It requires individuals who can lead a group of people. So when we typically look at the role of a program manager, and if we take a look at that role would have people reporting into them. And what they do as well is they engage with leadership. And once leadership have got a strategic roadmap, they feed it into portfolio, it feeds into program management, and program management must execute so that we can get the business value and the business benefit. Whether, can we have everyone muted? We can hear some voices. Let's see, yeah. Whether you work in an agile environment or you work in a waterfall environment, it's one thing that matters to the CEO is we deliver value. And value can be a tangible or intangible to the business. But for most often, we want to see the financial return on the investment we are working on. Because if we look at a portfolio of projects, we can always weigh and say, okay, which one is going to deliver us value? Let's focus on those particular ones. Let's get that group of projects ready, and then let's give it to the program manager. The program manager will have a group of project managers working with them to help deliver that. That is shaped in the waterfall environment. In an agile environment, we do still have the strategic intent of the CEO. And from that strategic intent, it shifts into the agile portfolio to help us. Yep. The agile portfolio engages all the product managers and makes sure that working with the agile portfolio team, we have products that are being delivered or initiatives that are being delivered to help deliver business value. And in an agile setting, the role of program management is quite different. We don't have the program manager role, rather we have the product manager role. We have the chief scrum master or the release train engineer in a safe environment. And then in some environments, they've got the senior scrum master acting in the program role. In an agile environment, program management is not being catered for properly because it consists of multiple things to be done. We are looking at the scope of the program, not the scope of the project. we're looking at the individual projects or initiatives that sit in that particular environment. And then we're looking at risk, stakeholder management, we're looking at market, going to market or releasing the product within the business. And then we have to think with a systems thinking mindset to deliver those particular initiatives. Agile frameworks have not done so well with how we manage programs. I know the SAFe framework does a good job, and I'm a bit biased to the SAFe framework. With other frameworks, they are still getting their acts right. So who typically can be a project or a program manager? Here's a good friend, Gina Chikwudi. She's joined us. She's a program manager. She moved from a project manager and now is a program manager. And she will have project managers reporting into her, and she'll be making sure that when she is, her day-to-day activities is to make sure that the program delivers what's expected. And she'll be engaging with the leadership team, the heads of department. So you need that gravitas to help shape the initiatives you are working with. Secondly, yes, Obi, another good friend, and she's more of a test program manager. So all the test projects that happen within her organization at Network Real, everyone reports into her. She checks and makes sure that all the tests that are being run by the test leads are signed off, approved, and the system does not fall apart. The role of the program manager is something that we say it requires someone with gravitas, and you can't go into the role overnight. You need to build yourself up for it. So if someone joins the initiative today or joins the session today, you might have been on that journey, and probably this is the tipping point or the turning point to get you into the program manager role. And personally, from my experience, to be able to engage at senior leadership roles or to engage in conversations at senior leadership meetings, please, can we mute ourselves? Is it OJ?
So I should give them.
Please, can we mute?
I should give them after school.
Moderator, please, can you mute people? Okay. All right. So the program manager role is extremely important, and they get a lot of project managers reporting into them. So naturally, with the roles I have seen in the chat room, mostly people would go from business analysts into project manager. Then from project manager, they will go into program management. And it's not only for people advanced in years or people with gray hair. If it's something you want to go ahead and start working in programs, you could set yourself on that path. And it won't be a New Year's resolution. You need to have your roadmap clear with that understanding that I want to one day be a program manager, and I'll share some of the tips that can get you there. Yeah, I've worked as a business analyst. I've worked as a project manager. Haven't been involved quite a lot in program management, but I've been involved in strategic management, portfolio management, and then around my business. Currently, I work with organizational leads and heads of transformation to help drive the program of activities. So it's understanding where do you want to be. I wanted to drive strategy. I wanted to drive things at the top because I saw a lot of gaps that were in projects not delivering value. So I headed to where I wanted to be. And if you want to go into program management, absolutely beautiful. You'll be having a lot of project managers reporting into you. And then from there, you would also be able to start looking up and say, okay, from program management, where do I go? Because I'm sure most of you are thinking, after program management, what next? You can go into strategic management. You can work at the CEO level and support different operational work in delivering business value continuously. So how does one transition from their current state, and what are some of their practical steps that can help you get there? Always have your strategic roadmap as a person. Yeah. Think about it from now. What do I have to do now to get there? I have my strategic. I go back to my book and say, okay, where am I now, and where do I want to be? And constantly I'm strategizing, thinking about it, and doing the right things to get me there. So you need a short-term roadmap and a long-term roadmap. It's not only for businesses to have that particular thinking. As an individual, it's something you need, and you can have it for multiple areas of your life. You can have it for your career, you can have it for your finance, you can have it for your family. And my recommendation is, this is not a New Year's idea or a New Year's resolution to say, oh, this is a new year, I really want to do this. No, it's a long-term planning activity, and each day gets you there. Yeah. So long-term planning, I said I wanted to take a master's, and I had it in my mind. I wanted to do it at 2 schools. Long-term, I planned towards it, and now I am doing it. So always have that long-term plan ahead in front of you and say, I can meander, I can take detours, but I am focused on where I am going. So here is an example of a 1-year roadmap to get into a project manager role or to get into a program manager role. First, my recommendation is get a mentor. Find someone who's already in that area. Yep. And not everyone would say, oh, William, this steps will work for me. But personally, for everything I've done, I've always had 1 or 2 mentors or coaches. I know Shelley has joined us, and Shelley was once and is always a good friend and a coach. And I always go to Shelley and bounce off ideas, and Shelley is awesome. Yeah. So get a mentor, get a coach, get someone who can help you transition from where you are to where you want to be. When you are going to see that person, have your roadmap, because they would want to know what's your current state, how do you want to get to the next level, what are you going to do to get there. They won't do it for you. You need to be doing that yourself. Yeah. So get that roadmap for your career, for your business. And then if it's the project manager or the program manager role, take on some leadership roles. Take on some leadership roles in your church, as part of a charity, or as part of a group. Take on some leadership roles. I was once into Toastmasters, a public speaking initiatives. And amazingly, if I say I'm able to speak to 1, 2, 3, 50 people, I look back and say, Toastmasters was one big thing I did that changed my career. During my Toastmasters time, I served in every role, right from serving as recruiting people, marketing, and forming a club, leading a club, and just telling everyone about Toastmasters. And then I delivered loads and loads of speeches. I wasn't a member of just one club. I was a member of 5 clubs, but that was when I didn't have kids. But when you're an adult and you have family and all the others, you have to now realign your roadmap around the things around you. So when I had family and stuff, I had to make changes to my roadmap to adapt to where I want to go. And I took so many roles in Toastmasters, delivered so many speeches. And today I'm able to deliver training because of the background I had in Toastmasters. And I did also some sales. So pick up some things along the line, and that would help you. Currently, I've taken a role as a counselor within my area, and that as well is giving me a different understanding of what leadership is and how leaders make certain decisions. So go for roles that will put you out of your comfort zone. And then some of my friends will say, when you ask William, will you do this? William will say, yes. And then William is gone. But now, if you ask me, I would say, let me think about it, because the times of being a yes, yes, yes are no more. I have to rethink about the people around me. Fourth on the item is read articles on LinkedIn. I'm a super fan of articles on LinkedIn, and write them yourself as well. If you can read articles on LinkedIn, I also recommend the next thing to do is to write articles for others to read. It builds your profile, it builds your understanding of the area, and it also puts you out there. So when I was with one of my clients, I will write articles about what's happening within the business and make sure the article promotes a positive light of the business. Yep. I'll make sure the article promotes that positive light. I've got my battery running. Just 1 minute. Let me get the charger in before it goes off. Okay. So read a lot of articles and make sure that you also write articles. And when I started writing articles, it did really build my profile. People were reading it and people were giving feedback. And when you read other people's articles as well, make a comment and give feedback on those articles. So the next item is build an understanding of an area. It could be intelligence. Pick something that you think you can share to people so that constantly someone could come to you. Over time, I've built a strong understanding of agile ways of working. I'm now also looking into artificial intelligence, machine learning, data, and all those things will broaden your understanding, because you don't know which panel you'll be sitting on that people would ask you certain questions. So broaden your mind to go into program management. Yeah. What are the core skills or training required to become a program manager? Look at where you are. Where are you now? Are you a business analyst? Then you need to go into project management, which will require you to take some project management, Prince 2, APMP, PMP. I took all of those courses. So I have the Prince 2 practitioner, APMP, I have the APMP practitioner. Then I went on to MSP, took the MSP, have the MSP foundation. Then I'm now into portfolio, have the portfolio. So it requires you taking a lot of certification to understand the area of transformation and program management. This would give you the understanding to engage with all stakeholders, because program management in its entirety is about managing stakeholders, and stakeholders have needs. You have internal and external stakeholders. You have to manage them effectively. And then you have to manage the scope of the program, report to senior leaders or report to the C-suite, and drive the program. So if there's any particular certification I recommend from a non-agile perspective, I would recommend the MSP, Managing Successful Program. But if you were looking at projects, I'll recommend the PMP Prince 2 APM, or start with the Prince 2, go to the APMP, and then take the MSP. Yeah. So if you are interested in courses around Agile, my company runs a lot of skilled Agile courses, because we believe the skilled Agile framework connects the organization in a way that the leadership get involved in program delivery, the management get trained in understanding what program delivery is all about. You, the program managers, will get trained, and you get trained in the release train engineer role. And then everyone within the business understands what Agile, what SAFe is all about. So we train them in SAFe for teams. As a program manager, you need alignment within your teams, whether team members or project managers. You need that alignment. So you need to train all of those people to have that understanding of what you're doing and why they are doing those. So make sure that you train yourself and train all the team. I focus on the Agile area, and that is my butter daily. Yeah. And what are some of the practical day-to-day steps that one can take to help in transitioning? I go back to that slide. It's not a New Year's resolution. And if you want to start that journey, let's go back to this. What is your roadmap? What's your roadmap for developing within 3 months to 1 year? What's your roadmap to developing in the long term? Because there'll be times that you feel like, oh, I don't really want to do this. It's too hard. I really want to invest money in other areas. Why should I be paying for this course? Oh, this course is too expensive. William said I should pay for MSP Prince 2. I want a holiday. I want to buy a house. Yeah. I would say I've been on the journey, and my motto has been build the foundation now, and then all other things will fall in place. Yep. You would have to make those priorities, or you have to make prioritization one of the big things. If you really want to go into project management or go into program management, you really have to invest in training yourself, invest in upping your leadership game, invest in making sure that you understand what program management is all about. And personally, before anyone thinks of going into program management, you should have done project management, done it thoroughly, understand what projects are all about. So you raise your head into program management, because program management requires a gravitas, an ability to manage stakeholders, and to lead all the teams around you. So 3 months plan, 1 year plan. What's my long-term plan? And if anyone was thinking about it, I'll say it's a 5-year plan or a 6 to 7 year plan to get into program management. Unless you've got some of the skills behind you, then you could say, let me start applying for program manager role. Let me do some interviews. I'll go into the role. And then when I get the role, I'll find my way. Some jobs you can do it. Other jobs, I tell you, like program manager, if you have no clue as a program manager, you won't survive in the role for a month. A month is even too long. You won't survive in the role for a week, because it's not one that you could just say, let me wing it or let me swim myself through. I'll keep asking friends along the way. It needs proper preparation. It needs proper understanding of what you have to do. So these are some of the recommendations. Get a mentor, get a coach. Take the MSP course, Managing Successful Programs. Take on some leadership articles. Read program management roles. Read project management roles. And you can do it as for business analysis as well. If you want to go into business analysis, find someone who's already a business analyst, take a BA course, take on some part-time or free BA courses, join BA communities, listen, join Obaapa. They talk about everything. And importantly, they talk about how to get into careers that would shift your thinking and your mindset. And then read articles. And I know Barbara is a very good mentor and a coach. Do get in touch with Barbara. She does a very good job. Build that plan that works for you, not just for now, but the long term. This roadmap is just for 1 year. And I sometimes build 5-year roadmaps. Why do I call it roadmaps? for a roadmap, things will change. If I build a plan, which is more like a Gantt chart, if I build a plan, I push. If anyone wants to make changes on it, I push back and push back. And that's what old project management or waterfall is all about. But in an agile thinking way, if I get to May and I see that, oh, William, you need to take a course, and that course would push you to the next level, I make changes immediately and then prioritize that particular course, pay for it, and then I go for it, learn from it, network, meet people, and um, start applying or start going into that role. My recommendation is a program manager role is a great role. A project manager role is a great role, but find a group of people around you who can help you do the job properly so that you don't get sacked in the afternoon. I've seen people and their laptops have been taken in the afternoon, or they've been told your account is no more available. We are sorry, you are not the right person for the role. And it's tough, but that's what the corporate or the world is. If you can't do it, someone else will do it, and will bring that person to take on your role. Yeah. So always have that plan. What is a typical project manager or program manager salary? I can talk from the UK perspective. Yeah. In the UK, I know, let me start from most business analysts are in the circa from, let me say, 30K and above. So 30K, 60 to about 60K to day rates of, let's say, 250 or 150 to day rates of about 400-500 for BAs. For project managers, it goes up from 300 pound a day. So you're looking at circa 40K. Then you could have project managers earning over 75K or 75,000, or you could have project managers on 600 pounds a day or 500 pounds a day. What about program managers? Program managers are in the circle of minimum, let's say 45K for a program manager. If you have one in 40K, then probably they are new to the role. They are being shown the ropes to understand how the role works. But in that instance, you have people from 45K, almost about 100K for some areas. So it really pays. It really, really pays if you're a good program manager. And then you can go into other roles supporting at exec level. I've not put the pay scale for Agile out there, but if you are looking for Agile program managers or Agile release train engineers or chief scrum masters, the day rates are about 450 per day. And then you could have people having, somewhere 45 to about 80 or 45 to 100, dependent on the company or the area you are being recruited in. Yeah, finance tends to pay a lot, and some areas around legal. Other sectors do not pay as much as finance. So if you want to be a program manager for finance, also think about what financial courses can I take. Do you want to take the ACCA? Do you want to take the CIMA? Or if you want to be a program manager in legal, do I want to take the legal project manager course? All of these are necessary for you to sit well in that role. I always say, look, to get into a role, don't think about the short term. Oh, let me just hash things, go into the role, and I'll get people to help me. Yep, it works. And it works for some people. But you also need to build that capability to make sure that when you get in there, you are delivering, and it's not always looking for someone to support you. You should also be supporting people. And as you grow, you constantly support people as well. In a program manager role, when you get there, immediately you need to support your project managers, you need to support the team, you need to be giving advice to your various heads of department. So you are thrown in at the deepest end. let me look at it. Let me build this scenario. When you go in as a business analyst, you are not at the very deep end. You are more on 3 feet, which let's say 1 feet, 2 feet. When you go in as a Scrum Master project manager, you are now thrown into a deep end about 6 feet, or let's say 5 to 6 feet. When you go in as a release train engineer or program manager, you are at the deepest end, which is about 10 feet to 12 feet. It's hard to swim out. I'm not making it look hard. You can get there, but prepare. When you get there, you should be able to swim out of that particular role. And I like building capabilities to make sure that whenever I get to anywhere I am, or whenever you get to anywhere you are, you can always swim and have a laugh and smile. Look back to yourself and say, how did I get here? My roadmap really worked for me. So build that roadmap so that when you're put in 12 feet, you can swim and sail and enjoy yourself. Yeah. So what are my key takeaways for this particular discussion whilst we think about going into project program roles? Number one key takeaway is financially it pays. It will make yourself happy. It will make your family happy. Number two would be it's a journey. It's not the shortest journey. It's a journey that you have to build a short-term roadmap and a long-term roadmap. More importantly, build your learning capabilities, do the right courses. Secondly, find a mentor coach. Thirdly, join a group or network that would help you sail when you get into that particular role. Obaapa is a marvelous group network, and I know that you folks are doing quite a lot. I jump into some of your sessions, and I would recommend that you join Obaapa. Finally, always remember that it's for the long term, and look up. I get to be a role. What next? Is it a product owner role or a product manager? I get to a project manager role. What next? Should I go into project program management, or should I start looking at any areas within the business? And my recommendation is, in a role, you can stay within a role for 5 years. Always look up. You get into program management role. What next? Do I go into leadership? Do I go into heads of departments, heads of transformation, leading the business in certain areas? It's great to go there, but don't stay there. Always look up. And it's good you've joined this session. This session is all about looking up to where you can be in your next role. My name is William Kosina, and it's a real pleasure speaking to you folks. And for everyone who's joined, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Twitter, and I'm on Instagram. Lit is also on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. Do follow, do join us. Any questions? Thank you so much.
Yeah, William, nice. Thank you very much for the...
Can you hear me? We can hear you.
Can you hear me? Hi, William. Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me at all, please?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Question time. We're gonna thank you very, very much, William. That was an amazing delivery. You've covered more than we asked for. We're very grateful. We're gonna open the floor for 10 minutes for question time, please. Thank you. Let's have a quick look at the chat room as well to see if there's any questions there before we call it an evening. Okay, so there isn't any question. I think you've pretty much covered everything, William. We know you're the CEO of Agile Transformation group as well. So if anyone's looking for a very good platform, highly recommended. Agile transformation platform is one of those that William runs, and there's several. There's BA, there's general IT platforms as well. Please feel free to join those. There's the consultant hub here as well, and there's the African Women's IT group as well here. So feel free to join. There isn't any question that I can see apart from thank you for quite a few people. So someone said, did you have an example of a long-term plan, Richard? Sorry, William.
Yeah, I have my special book, and I have year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5 to year 10. So if I started somewhere in 2010, I'm almost at year 10, and I've achieved quite a lot on my roadmap. And I don't do New Year's resolutions. So I've always got something on the table. Yeah. So have a long-term plan. Year 1, year 2, year 3. And it took me almost a month just to sit back and put all those together. I read an article far back at the end of 2009 when I was thinking again about a New Year's plan. And that article said, why do you write a New Year's plan? Think about roadmaps. And that changed my framework, and that changed my thinking. So when people are saying it's time for a New Year's plan, I know I've already done that. I've got a roadmap that I always follow, and that helps me in really achieving more and making more out of life.
Thank you very much, William. So the only other question that we've got in the platform from Regina is, please, can you explain what the Obaapa is all about? We are a women ladies platform. Obaapa means a good woman. And we believe that every woman is good, but when you're in a group, a trusted, respectful group, where you can share anything, not just professional, issues, but personal issues as well. A lot of women carry a lot of hats. But unfortunately, being in a good networking environment enables you to be able to express whatever issues you have, and you have similar other women who can give their opinion on it, and it's highly confidential. Majority of the women, they are professional, respectful women. So we're all able to just come in with different experiences. We share that on a non-professional basis, but also there are lots of, as I said earlier, there are lots of professional women as well who have career ambitions. And the platform is to equip us, to enable us as women to learn from one another, to learn from our life's experience, to learn from our professional experience, to network, to empower, and to inspire each other as well. So that's what the Obaapa, a good woman's platform, is all about. We do that because we believe that by doing this, by sharing our individual experience, we will be able to create value in our environments. So that's what the Obaapa platform is all about. Thank you. So the link is there if anyone would want to join, or any woman would want to join, sorry. But when we have professional and training career sessions, which we will try to have once a month at least, we will open it up to everybody to come in as well, because we can all learn as well to achieve our career plans. Yeah. So on that note, thank you all very much for joining us. We really appreciate you. We appreciate your time this afternoon. Have a fabulous weekend.
There's a question.
Oh, sorry, I have another question.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm calling in, so I couldn't put my hand up. I have two questions. It was a follow-up question to trying to make that 5-year plan. Would you be looking towards your higher ups to see, okay, this is something that I should aspire to be? I should be this person who's the one making the decisions. And then from next step, I should be the person who's being asked what new programs to implement. How do you go about trying to always try to go to a next step and learning what best step would be for you? If that makes sense.
So the question is, how do you go about knowing what the next step is? And
creating that roadmap for yourself.
So that's what I said. I started with a plan and said, for every role I sit in, I need to sit in for 5 years. And my background for that is I used to be in the army. And in the army, every year, you get a review. And based on the review, you get some scores, and then you move to the next level. So I said, okay, how do I apply that when I'm no more in the army? Because nobody's going to give me that review. Nobody's going to promote me if I don't promote myself. So I said, okay, to master a role and be very good at it takes you about 2 to 3 years. Then in the next 2 years, you swim along, feel good, and you become a senior within the role. But then after 5 years in just being in that role, you just swimming and having fun. But you need to take the next challenge, and you need to agree to that principles for yourself. Do I want to stay in a role for 6 years? After 6 years, I need to look up. I agreed for 5 years. And that is how I've always looked up on my roadmap. And someone once asked me, so William, when you get to the ceiling, where do you go? Then I'm looking at some other goals, which are on my roadmap. So it's not always career roadmaps. You should have other personal, finance, business roadmaps that should be energizing you, igniting you to take the next step. Yeah. I hope I've answered your question.
Great. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Please, is there any other question before we bring this session to a close? Right. On that note, on behalf of all of us, William, we appreciate you. We wish you all the best. And yes, if we do need any agile training, you trained me, I can't remember, I think 7 years ago. It was SAFE course in London, and I've never looked back. And I'm able to deliver even more value than a BA does. I went in to do a BA job, and I'm the one of the people who always screams, I just want to be a BA. I don't want anything else. But I've recently found myself, I'm doing delivery managing, I'm doing product owner's role, I'm doing a PO role, PM's role, project management role. I'm a BA. I'm at the verge of saying, okay, you might as well just get me there to become a program manager and pay me for it, because what I've asked for, I think I'm doing a lot more than that. So you've taught me, you've put me on that map, and I'm really grateful. I believe that a lot of people who do need any form of digital training would come to you first. We pray for that help as well. Thank you very much, William, on behalf of all of us. And thank you, everyone, for joining in for us all to learn together. Thank you.
Thank you, folks. And it's a real pleasure.
Thank you. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Also,
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, William. Thanks,
Thank
Barbara.
you.
Thank you, William. Thank you, everyone. Thank
Thank
you.
you, folks.
Bye-bye.
Barbara.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye, Barbs.
Bye, Janice. Thanks for joining us.